Hello and welcome to BrookesTV. I'm Gareth Coulson.
And I am Demi Versluis. Coming up in this week's episode, we take a short trip to the racetrack to find out about Formula students. Clara explores the sport facilities at Oxford Brookes and their plans for the future.
And we'll take a look at the student safety in Oxford.
Formula One is becoming increasingly popular, but how can upcoming motorsport engineers and drivers break into the industry?
We sent Harvey Appleton to Oxford Brookes to find out more about their racing team and the Formula Student competition.
Formula Student is Europe's most established educational motorsport competition run by the Institution of Mechanical Engineers. Oxford Brookes Racing competes with teams across the globe in a challenge to design, build and race in a single-seat car. Oxford Brookes car stats are pretty impressive. 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, a top speed of around 80 miles an hour and a KTM 450cc engine.
Being part of Formula Student and especially Oxford Brookes Racing, you gain so much knowledge. Over the past season, there was a lot of change in the car. For example, the radiator we had last year was not adequate enough. We overheated the engine at FSUK and we broke the seal in the head, which resulted in a fantastic fire at FSUK. We do compete with each other every year for the top UK team, and this year especially should be very interesting.
So I was pretty much involved with Oxford Brookes Racing from day one. In fact, this is one of the main reasons why I came here. So we've got quite a large number of sponsors actually at Oxford Brookes Racing. Some of them have been with us for many years. The amount of stuff I've learned from it has been amazing, not only obviously on the sponsorship side, but actually getting hands-on experience with manufacture in the chassis team. 12 months ago, I wouldn't have known a single thing about carbon fibre or its manufacture, but actually only today was I working with Ross and the team working on the front of the car, layering up carbon fibre. So it's amazing that you can learn these things so quickly.
So Oxford Brookes Racing's been around since 1999. We have around 200 members. We split that into around 10 different groups, so for different parts of the car, so chassis, aero, suspension. We've got some really good facilities here at Oxford Brookes. The 4-push rig is one that we can use to help develop suspension models that we've got and validate them against the real car and see where we've gone wrong in the simulation, where it matches up. We've got some really good dyno facilities here as well at Oxford Brookes that we can use to do the initial map work on our engines. So for example, this year we have a new KTM 450 for the car. Oxford Brookes also has a wind tunnel that we can use, however the wind tunnel itself is really small. It isn't viable for us to use for any models or any wing development at all. We also got a really cool machine shop with plenty of CNCs, lathes, mills. This summer we'll be going to 3 events in Europe, so we'll be competing at Silverstone in July for the Formula Student UK event. We'll be competing in Hockenheim in Germany for the German event, and then also going to Győr in Hungary.
It's actually pretty amazing how close a Formula Student team resembles, the likes of a real motorsport team. And actually, many people in industry will go to competition and handpick students because they know the experience they will have learned in Formula Student is almost directly applicable to working in high-performance industries.
It looks like quite a challenging summer that Oxford Brookes Racing have ahead of them, with 3 major competitions across Europe. Can they hold on to the top spot? This is Harvey Appleton reporting for BrookesTV News.
Well, best of luck to them at those tournaments from us here at BrookesTV.
Yes, they look like they'll be having quite the summer in Europe. But of course, during the winter months when it's dark outside, properly lit streets are important for a city like Oxford.
But how are residents coping with the failing infrastructure of lights on the blink? James Moody investigates.
Across Oxfordshire, the streetlights are slowly switching off. Since April of last year, Oxfordshire County Council have only repaired streetlights where they consider it to be an emergency.
But some have argued that the lights should be repaired before an emergency can be allowed to develop.
The County Council had originally secured a contract with SSE in 2008 to maintain its streetlights up until the year 2024. But in April of last year, SSE withdrew from that contract. It's now reaching the point where some residents are concerned that the lights outside their homes will never be fixed. Common concerns stemming from broken streetlights range from increased levels of nighttime crime to limited visibility of obstacles on the pavement and a general reduction in pedestrian safety.
But local government cuts since 2008 bring into question whether the council can even afford to find a replacement contract, leaving local residents in the dark.
This is James Moody for Brookes TV News.
The traffic in Oxford has been much busier in recent years, and the buses are more often delayed by the traffic jam.
Yes, and the bus departure times shown in bus stops are getting errors more frequently. Are passengers willing to see this? Louis Lung has found out more.
Recently in Oxford, the traffic has become a serious issue. Since the cars on England's roads increased by almost 600,000 in a year, the road become more and more packed and heavy traffic clogs the highways. The traffic congestion happens whenever it's weekdays or holidays, whenever it's rush hour or 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Drivers are getting stuck on the road and passengers need to wait longer at the bus stop.
Not always, but it just kind of doesn't always show the buses that are coming and show the U1.
Not only the display in the bus station, Brookes University website Next Bus is always affected by the error of the system.
Basically, it takes almost 30 to 40 minutes to reach Wheatley. So we almost leave an hour before from the Headington Cheney house, where we are staying. And then we get to Wheatley campus at 9 o'clock for our classes. So because of sometimes buses are full, or sometimes because we have to wait for another bus or time delay, or maybe there are a lot of students waiting in the line, because of that the bus gets delayed. So that's how we manage and tackle
The departure time is based on a system called Real-Time Information System, the RTI. This system is relied on automatic vehicle location technology. Most commonly, the vehicle location is determined using GPS, and the mechanism is a satellite from the vehicle to the radio receiver. According to the Chris Burkett, the Information System Officer of Public Transport Infrastructure and Information Team in Oxfordshire, this system is named Ox on Time. The reason why RTI show incorrectly have many factors: road traffic status, traffic jam, hardware failure, or either the sign or the bus has lost communication with the system. But most of them are the buses. For whatever reason, it cannot be predicted via satellite tracking. It will not be shown on the sign, and the please refer to timetables message will be displayed. And for the reason why the time is suddenly clear on the sign is the bus is ready to leave but has passed its scheduled departure time, in which case the prediction has already cleared off the sign. Chris has also mentioned that the Ox on Time system is currently working under an improvement maintenance. Louis Leung from Brookes TV.
According to sources, the crime rate in Oxford has been gradually increasing since 2015.
But crimes and accidents are always unexpected. As a city full of students and tourists, is it really safe to study in Oxford? Tom Yick has more.
Oxford is a well-known city for studying. According to the record, there are about 40,000 university students currently. In the record of the Thames Valley Police, the crime rate of 2016 is normal compared to the similar areas. But in the last 2 weeks, men have been stabbed to death in Headington shop at daylight. An explosion leads to a few people missing in the city centre, and lots of accidents and crimes happened. Regarding to the lately event, the safety issues of students need to be aware. In December 2016, there are over 600 crimes between city center, county, and Haddington. These places are popular among students in their leisure time. Moreover, the crime rate in Oxford is 89.68, which means in each 1,000 people, 90 people are involved in the crime. This is much higher than the police force average in Oxford. So, the question is, how safe is it to study in Oxford?
Yeah, definitely. I've lived here for the last 2 years while I've been on my course, and I've never encountered a problem. So I would say it's safe, yes.
Yes, as I have been living here the last 6 years, I think it's safe to study in Oxford, as there is no any crime, yes.
Students actually thought Oxford is safe, and they're not worried about walking alone even at night, although the street is dark and quiet.
I'm not on my own very often at night, so I'm with a group, but there have been occasions where I've walked out alone and I've never encountered any issues, so I do feel safe, and I would go out on my own, yes, at night.
I don't worry, that's why even though when I am in the library until 4 or 5, I walk alone back home.
In order to find out more, we have inquired the Oxford City Council for more information. The board member for Community Safety, Councillor D. Sinclair, replied and said that the Oxford City Council takes the safety issues very seriously, and they are working closely with partners organisations, including Thames Valley Police. They will make sure the city remains a safe place to live, work and study. Dangerous will happen anytime. Therefore, the best way to protect students themselves is to be vigilant when going outside. This is Tom Yik from BrookesTV.
That's it for this half, but still to come. We look at how Brookes Science Bazaar contributes to the science and technology development in the UK.
And we discover the Hatched Art exhibition in Oxford Summertown. Welcome back. We're joined by Rebekah Belward from the Oxford Brookes Safety Bus team. Hi, Rebekah.
Hi.
Welcome to the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. So tell us about your role at the Oxford Brookes Safety Bus.
Well, I am a co-driver and I've been doing that for 1.5 years now, which means that I help to answer the phone, help passengers get in and out, sort out the route and just generally direct the driver.
That's fantastic. I must say you're wearing a wonderfully bright uniform there, and I almost see sunglasses for that.
It's to make sure students know who we are when we're out and about in the dark, and it matches the bus as well, which is also bright orange.
You've almost been tangoed then, haven't you?
Yes.
So how many volunteers do you have?
At the moment, we've had, since September, 70 different people doing shifts. Some people will do one shift and then find out it's not really for them. Other people would be regular shifts and twice a week, if not like once a week.
So how does the service actually work?
In terms of the volunteer side, you sign up to a shift and you do the shift. It's completely up to you when and for how long you're out on the bus, depending on how tired you get. From a passenger side, you ring up the bus, and if they're out, then they will answer the phone, and you just tell them your name, where you are, how many people there are, and where you want to get to, and then we'll get to you as fast as possible to take you home.
That's fantastic. Do you enjoy volunteering?
I absolutely love it. You get to meet so many new people, you get some brilliant stories of situations where only you could have helped, and it's just amazing.
So how do you get involved in this service?
We have an email address, so su.safetybus@brookes.ac.uk, and you just drop an email and say, hey, I'd like to be involved, and we have a short training session of about 45 minutes to an hour, and that's literally it. There's a little bit more if you want to be a driver, because obviously you need to practice driving in the bus, but it's so easy.
That's absolutely fantastic. So there must be a few little challenging situations perhaps with some students. I mean, how do you normally deal with them? Is it always a challenge, or do you enjoy it? Or
most of the time it's fun, because every now and then you'll get a student who's maybe had a little bit too much to drink, and we've got the bus stocked with bin liners and hairbands and things, and most of the time their friends will look after them. It's not particularly often that we end up having to call an ambulance instead because someone's just that too far gone for us, but we're there to help, and it's an amazing feeling getting to know that you've saved someone's night.
So do you have a lot of friends on the safety bus, or is it all, do you get to know them, or do you have many?
Well, we've got friends in terms of the other volunteers. I think the regular volunteers are quite a close-knit group, and that's quite nice. You also do get your regulars on the safety bus, so people who will work night shifts and will finish late at work, maybe like midnight time, and they will be a regular. There's a couple of students who work as photographers within the clubs. They will take lifts home as well. So it's not just the students that are regulars at Fishies or whatever, but we do get a few of them as well.
So you have about 70 volunteers. I mean, how do you do the rota? Do people do it every night, or obviously?
Well, the bus is out Mondays to Saturdays if we've got the volunteers for it. And we have a Google sheet which anyone can edit, and people just put their name down if they're free. We have a Facebook group, so if someone needs to pull out at the last minute, they can just kind of post in there and say, hey, I was down, I can't anymore, can someone else take my place? And we have a maximum of 2 shifts per week just to make sure nobody's overworking themselves, but it's really simple and easy to sign up.
That's perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
That's okay.
Hope you've had a good time. Look forward to seeing you soon, hopefully. So, science and technology are essential in our daily life, but how can we cultivate fresh ideas and encourage budding scientists for sustainable development in the country? We sent reporter Leo Chu to discover more.
At this time of the year, Oxford Brookes University is holding a science bazaar. It attracts more than 1,000 people coming to the university to enjoy the great atmosphere, especially children. There are various exhibitions to teach people about science.
We have 2 microscopes here, one of them with the large scale that the people look into now, where they look at flowers or leaves just from a glorified hand lens, really. So you really look and you can see the glands in the leaves or the stamens really clearly, and that's what we're showing there. This one is a stage microscope, and I've actually got a leaf of a moss on it. And the leaf of the moss, the great thing about that, it's only a single cell thick, so you can see every single cell on it, including all the little chloroplasts that are inside, that are showing us perfect green circles inside the cells.
But why did the Science Bazaar team intend to conduct this event?
So we are here at the Brookes Science Bazaar, and the reason we organize this event is we think it's really important that we, so the researchers at Oxford Brookes and the lecturers and also the students, come out and we show the community, we show our neighbors, and we show the next generation of researchers what we do. And the reason that we target kids between 5 and 12 is that tends to be the age when they're still curious. So kids ask lots of questions, they want to know lots of things.
So why is the Science Bazaar so important to the science and technology development in the United Kingdom?
It's really important that we inspire the next generation of scientists, because science and technology are everywhere in our life, and we need to be able to find solutions for the big problems that we are facing, things like climate change, food security, antibiotic resistance, illnesses, diseases. And in order to do that, we need young scientists to come and join us and help us find the solutions.
Notably, the United Kingdom has been leading the way in science and technology for 4 centuries. In the 17th century, English physicist Sir Isaac Newton complied the law of motion and illuminated gravity, which was an important advance in physics. In the 19th century, Scottish engineer Alexander Graham Bell invented the first telephone, which had enhanced the communication between people. In the 20th century, English biologist Sir Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, which were among the first medications to be effective against bacterial infections. And in the future.
I would like to be a scientist when I grow up. When I grow up, I would like to be a scientist.
I want to be a scientist when I grow up.
I hope that at least one future successful scientist will be in here. I hope that there will be lots of children who come here and are inspired enough to do some kind of research or science later. And hopefully they will let us know that they came here and that inspired them.
And this is Leo Chin reporting for BrookesTV.
Sports now. In just 3 years, Oxford Brookes have climbed 20 places in the BUCS overall league table.
But can the facilities keep up with this tremendous success? Clara Holland investigates.
Over the past few years, Oxford Brookes University has climbed many spaces in the BUCS League table, but the question is now asked, do Brookes have adequate facilities to compete with the top teams?
They're adequate for some particular sports like football and rugby and hockey, but for tennis and other sports such, we don't have our own facilities, so it's not great.
Sports facilities across 3 campuses. Our main sports facilities are at Headington, when we have our main sports centre.
I think they're adequate up to a point. I mean, obviously you've got good facilities here for people to be active and everything, but in terms of pursuing like specific sporting goals such as tennis or swimming, they're probably not as adequate as other unis have offered.
Brookes' 3 campuses each host various sports facilities but don't cover all the sports students compete in. Is it fair that some teams have to travel off campus to train and host matches?
I don't feel that the sports facilities at Brookes are good for my sport, which is tennis, because we don't have any facilities on site.
Any changes we do going forward with the kind of campus plans that we've got for the university will include trying to bring more of our teams that have to go out, tennis is a good example, out onto our sites.
With the possibility of more facilities to be built at Harcourt Hill in the future, let's hope that Brookes can stay within the top teams until then.
Let's hope sport continues to improve. Next up, Hatch 2017 is an art exhibition celebrating women's achievement as part of Oxford International Women's Festival. We sent our reporters to find out more.
We're at the Northwall Art Centre at Summertown in Oxford, where the exhibition is taking place. Hatched is part of the Oxford International Women's Festival and International Women's Day, celebrating women's achievements and solidarity. This year's theme is Women Thinking Big in the Arts, Science, Politics and Education. Hatched is a new art platform dedicated to developing, making and promoting work addressing women's issues. One such artist was Harriet Rutter, who spoke with us about the exhibition and her work.
And we're not necessarily exclusively women. There is a man who's doing some work here, but it's mostly dealing with feminist issues, ranging from domestic spaces or to female genital mutilation. There's a whole breadth in between there.
The exhibition is accompanied by a series of talks, workshops and activities. Curated by Mega Esberg, Hatched 2017 showcases exciting work by local and global artists. Fiona Yarenfield's Safe Haven, a series of portraits of pregnant women who know that their baby will be born with Down syndrome.
Yes, and the struggle to express oneself and yet feeling pulled into the domestic sphere. So I've taken domestic shaped objects ranging from bottles or milk cartons or various plastic pots and things, and I've cast the space, but I've damaged the space as well, kind of showing that pressure. And
the exhibition is open from the 22nd of February to the 11th of March, with free admission to the gallery. Reporting from BrookesTV News, this has been Jared Walker.
So that just goes to show how Hatch 2017 is celebrating diversity. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can watch our previous episodes on the Oxford Brookes YouTube channel.
And if you would like to get in touch, just send us an email to brookestv@brookes.ac.uk. See you next time.
Bye bye.